Hello and welcome to Hindustan Times Online. They see Martini. My name is Sandeep, and right now I have with me an actor, a dancer, and a wonderful YouTuber. Ladies and gentlemen, straight from Hollywood, we have Robert Hoffman. Hello, Robert, and welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you.
Robert, first things first. When you came down to Bombay, how long has it been?
Since I've been here?
Yeah.
I've only been here for about 10 hours, most of which I caught up on sleep in my hotel.
Okay.
So I'm fresh off the plane. I'm very excited to be here. I've wanted to be in India for years. I've been waiting for my moment to get here. The only thing I can comment on so far is I've been to 2 different buffets, both of which were really good. When I travel, I usually tell people that I don't want to go get great pasta or great steak or great pizza because everywhere has great pasta. I'm like, is there anything here that's a flavor I won't have tasted before? And the answer is always no. But in roughly 10 hours, I've already had at least 5 different flavors that I'm like, whoa, I'd have never had this flavor before.
You mean Indian authentic dishes?
Yeah. Actually, I have a photograph of 2 of them because I didn't want to forget. One is Shira.
Okay, Shira.
And one is, I took pictures, Kanda Poha.
Okay, so that's Kanda Poha and Shira, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I like both those a lot.
Robert, you've got to tell me, you have been an actor. Most people are going to be remembering you from your stint in, your role in Step Up to the Streets. What I want to ask you precisely is the fact that, India is a big market. And you are for the first time doing a collaboration kind of a music video that has a lot of Indian elements into it, with a lot of Indian people backing the video. So what is that one particular thing that comes to your mind when you kind of, to a certain extent you feel that it's like a broad horizon, and you can perhaps have a bigger reach for that matter?
I see exactly what you're saying. None of those things actually go to my mind, and I'll explain why. For me, I'm one of those kind of weird guys that does the whole kind of try to flow with the universe kind of thing.
Okay.
And I tend to find that the more I trust in that, the cooler the adventure gets. Simultaneously, I often find that in order to kind of flow and let exciting things happen, it's one thing to have an intent and to have a desire, but it's a whole nother trick to recognize that, from the way I understand it to be, you can't expect it to come exactly how you pictured it, or there would be no fun and no surprise. So if I were to say to you, like, oh, opening up this new market has all these potentials, or this project or this thing that I want could come to fruition, would potentially set myself up for failure. I've just recently been made aware of the fact that this market is so expansive, but I don't count on that. I'm here because I met 2 charming people, and they had a cool creative project, and all I asked myself was, does this feel right and does this sound fun? I was like, yeah, this feels right and this sounds fun. All right, so let's do it. And I thought it was just going to be 2 days on a music video shoot, but it turned into a trip to India, hosted by people that seemed to have an interest in giving me a really good trip. So what becomes of it, I don't know.
But do you have this idea? The film Step Up has a huge impact on India, especially because of the fact that Bollywood is films that are pertaining, catering to dance, especially after Step Up came up, released in India. So, firstly, did you see any of those films?
What films?
Indian films. Or the Indian dance films?
No, I'm not very familiar with Bollywood.
Okay.
I should do at least some sort of a crash course today.
It's not a compulsion at all.
Huh?
It's not a compulsion at all.
I think it'd be wise for me to do. And I'm not aware at all of the presence that Step Up, or the effect that Step Up had in India. It's a kind of...
In fact, people, the Bollywood and the entire industry for that matter, they had kind of lifted up the entire... for instance, you have Step Up 3D. In Bollywood, they made a film called Street Dancer 3D.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so that's the amount of impact, and that's the amount of influence that the Bollywood filmmakers derive from films from the West.
But it's also it's a very interesting thing to be a part of something that has a global impact, because I challenge people to recognize this all the time, especially people who may struggle with wanting a level of fame. I challenge them to process what the actual experience is.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, a lot of people will say to me, "What's it like to be in the biggest dance movie?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, "Okay, I'll tell you exactly what it's like. Ready? 65 million people know your name and love you.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you might
Absolutely.
feel excited, but that excitement would start to become very normal after a week, because all that's happened is I've told you that this many people, but you can never experience 65 individual people. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
All that's happened is someone has told you, or a newspaper has told you, but it's not something you actually experience.
Mm-hmm.
So part of my life, the way I've designed it, is when I go and do teaching tours where I teach in different countries, sometimes underprivileged countries, sometimes rich countries,
Mm-hmm.
I try to limit my classes to 50 people, because then I get a very warm reception. I get people giving me their best side, giving me a passionate excitement, but I'm actually getting to meet these people and work with them in a room as opposed to a crowd of 500 people or whatever. And then afterward, I can go have dinner with them and I can see what their culture really is about. So, so yeah, that impact thing is a lot less tactile than I think people might expect it to be.
Mm-hmm. What you going to tell me about your obsession with YouTube? The fact that you call out these very, very funny and absolutely rip-tickling prank videos where
Thank you.
you pull pranks on these random people
Mhm.
and their expressions and that gaze that they give you. For instance, I cannot forget that one, air humping video. You were humping the air. I was like, what the heck is happening? So, what actually went in your mind? What did you kind of think before perhaps coming out with those videos, or while doing the videos?
I think life is a lot more silly. I personally believe that life at its fundamental is play and silliness. I think most human drama and most human concepts are childish and forgettable at best. I think life is about whimsy. I think life is about play. I think life is about art and abstractism and absurdity.
Yes. Absolutely.
So I grew up in a household and in a culture where things were taken very seriously and there was a lot of intensity. And so from my palette for entertainment, my palette for creativity is more absurdity and more laughing at that which people try to make sacred, even though it isn't sacred. So it became, as soon as I had a video camera, it just became immediately impulsive for me to get out in public and make montages of absurd moments and capturing people's absurd reactions in a way that wasn't cruel, that which was in context to the video was very silly, very funny, and very playful. And then simultaneously,
it kind of reminded me of a sequence from Mr. Bean where he's kind of trying to dance in that same air humping kind of emotion, and he has that. He has his girlfriend. He's not being able to communicate with her. He's in a pub. He's trying to dance and stuff like that, and then something really silly happens. So, firstly,
being compared to Mr. Bean is very flattering. Thank you. I love Mr. Bean.
How do you actually get these ideas? From where do you get these ideas? Are they absolutely random thoughts, or do you kind of think about them prior to kind of making the video?
All my jokes, all the music, all the plot lines, all the characters, my brain has just set itself up from a very young age to constantly be hoping for, looking for, observing for, stirring things up in the pursuit of finding the next idea that I go, oh my God, if I shoot that, if I go capture that, it will be must see. If I create that and put it online, everyone that sees it is going to go, hey, come here. Have you seen the thing where, so that it'll have maximum reach, so that my career and my connection to the world will have maximum, it'll be the way I want to relate to people, through silliness, not through being the lead of a dramatic motion picture, which is fun, but not what I love.
One film that you actually had a very brief role in, again, happens to be one of my favorite films, She's the Man.
Thanks, man.
Where exactly does your passion lie?
My passion lies in being a rebel. My passion lies in creating art that rebels against society's need to take itself so seriously, even in spite of how blatantly contradictory and hypocritical and non-productive it is, and to create through art sensations and visions and characters and points of view that transcend the mundane nature of human drama. That's what compels me. There is no specific type of art or no specific craft that compels me beyond more than that does.
Okay. Finally, before I let you go, Robert, you've got to tell me what exactly egged you to do this music video, and what went on in your mind. I mean, what were the workings of your mind? What were you thinking within the confines of your head before you did what you did for the music video?
To just doing the video in general was mostly inspired by just the fact that I met two charming women who were Airbnb-ing my condo, and
Okay.
I liked their vibe, and they said, hey, we'd like you to do this project we're passionate about. And I asked myself, does this sound fun and does this sound interesting? And the answer was yes to both of them. It wasn't going to be an extensive amount of work. I was like, yeah, let me help you guys with your vision. This sounds fun. I trust your nature. You don't seem like you seem like people who are genuinely interested in creating art. And what could this hurt? And little did I know it would turn into a sponsored trip to India, which is something I've been wanting to manifest for years. So that was the main idea.
So with that, we come to the end of this lovely conversation with Robert Hoffman. My name is Sandeep with Hindustan Times Online, Desi Martini. Thank you so much.